the Urban Debate 360 on Magic Bricks now. I'm Faye D'Souza. We have a power-packed lineup of news in today's show that helps you understand the status of civic issues in your city. Let's take a look at the headlines. Kaveri protests bring Karnataka to a crippling halt as Chief Minister Siddaramaiah writes to the Prime Minister seeking help. Pro-Kannada activists take to the streets. They burn effigies, vandalize offices, hold major parts of the state to ransom. India Silicon Valley, Bangalore bore the brunt. Protesters ran amok, forced IT offices to shut down. And in Mumbai, attacks on policemen continue. This time, 2 senior policemen were mowed down by 2 young motorists aged 20 and 17. This worrying trend comes despite the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis promising on Thursday to set up a fast-track court for trials in such cases. Comedian Kapil Sharma tweets serious corruption charges against Mumbai's civic body, the BMC. He now faces counter-allegations. The Times Network exclusive, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis chalks out the road ahead for the state. Deep push for transforming public transport and digital Mumbai. 164 projects by many top developers in the NCR region are in Cloud9 as the Greater Noida Authority threatens to cancel land allotted to these developers. The authority claims the developers have been defaulting on their payments. Now, for the last couple of weeks, we've been running a campaign against the attacks on the police constables in Maharashtra. 6 attacks in 15 days. And in all of those cases, the attackers were teenagers or people in their early 20s. The attacked and the victims were senior police constables in their 50s. Twin attacks on Mumbai police have been reported again today. Perpetrators were aged 17 and 20. This comes a day after Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis tweeted out his support for the men in khaki after we demanded he make a strong statement. He also promised a number of measures for police welfare. In 2 separate incidents, 2 young adults have mowed down senior cops while they were stopped for not wearing helmets. Disha Shah, who's been tracing this disturbing trend of attacks, sends us details.
It was just a day after when Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis tweeted out in support of the policemen and, intolerance of attacks that have been happening with the policemen for the past 2 weeks. And it was just a day later on Thursday. Similar incidents, happened with 2 policemen in 2 separate areas across the city, Mumbai. One happened in Worli and another happened in Oshiwara. Talking about the Oshiwara incident first, when we spoke to, the senior police inspector over there, they told at Oshiwara police station, they told us that a 20-year-old boy, he was riding a bike without wearing a helmet, and it was then the sub-inspector Krishna Mandavkar, he was there doing nakabandi, and that was when he spotted him and he tried to stop him, but that was when the 20-year-old boy rammed over him, causing him severe head, leg and hand injuries, and he was rushed to the nearest hospital. In fact, what we know so far is that the accused named Sadiq Sheikh was arrested immediately and he was in the custody. An FIR has been registered against him and he was released on bail on Friday morning. That's the latest that we are hearing. And in fact, senior officials also told us that investigation is on and the charge sheet will be filed soon against him. And talking about the Worli incident, a 17-year-old who is a juvenile, he was riding a bike without a helmet, and it was then that a senior sub-inspector Deepak Nikanjay, he was there at Worli Naka doing his duty, and that was when a 17-year-old rammed over him when he tried to stop him because he wasn't wearing a helmet. And when we spoke to senior police inspector at Worli police station, Vinay Kulkarni, he told us that it will be a non-bailable offence. Right now the 17-year-old accused is at the remand home where I am standing right now. Behind me you can see me, the juvenile remand home at Dongri, so where I'm standing right now. So he is presently based here. And in fact, he also told us that sections like 333, which is voluntary causes grievous hurt to any person by a public servant, 279, which is rash driving, and 337, which is causing hurt by an act endangering life. So that these sections are booked, against the juvenile. And what we also learn is that, his parents are also booked under the Motor Vehicles Act because the bike was registered against the mother's name. So, of course, and the latest what we are picking up is that the juvenile will be produced, before the juvenile court at Dongri on Monday. So, we, of course, will keep a very close eye on both the cases here at Magic Bricks now.
What we needed till now, कि CM or the police head or the seniors who are there, they should have taken some action and come out in front of the people कि what had happened with Vilas Shinde and what the two boys had done. One was juvenile and other one his brother. So when that is not coming up, what punishment they got? So nobody is scared. One day after day, one thing is coming out. Day before yesterday in Kalyan, the way they had beaten that police inspector. I want to just tell here, the police constable, inspector was beaten there. The MLA of Kalyan, his boys were hitting him and he was provoking them from back to hit them. This is what is happening. When people say politicians are the biggest crime they do, so I sometimes feel very bad because his boys were there and today he's telling them ki you close the case.
But we continue to track that story very, very closely because we demand better working conditions for the police officers and the constables in the state. It's a demand that we're going to make from all state governments across the country. Meanwhile, serious corruption charges against Mumbai's civic body BMC, and this won't be the first time. This time, though, it comes from funny man of the silver screen, comedian Kapil Sharma. He tweeted out that the BMC officials had demanded he pay a bribe of 5 lakh rupees to regularize construction at his bungalow in Versova in Mumbai. His tweet led to an immediate response from the Chief Minister of Maharashtra assuring action in the case. However, the latest reports reveal that Kapil was issued a notice by the BMC in July over illegal construction on the plot. However, which portions of his bungalow have been demolished? Our reporter files this report.
We are at the Mahara colony in Versova where Kapil Sharma's office is located, which he is saying he had to pay a bribe for to the BMC and had tweeted to the PM. This is the bungalow that is in contention right now. You can see the demolition that has been done by the BMC. According to Kapil Sharma, the BMC had demanded a bribe of rupees 5 lakh to regularize the work that he had done on this bungalow. In return, the BMC has said that they had not demanded any bribe from him and that he had done unauthorized work on this bungalow. The unauthorized work involves extra construction that was done on the backside of this bungalow, which you can see in the visuals, and construction done of a second floor in this bungalow where it is not allowed. According to the BMC, only a first floor is allowed in the bungalows that are there in this society, in the Mahara society in Versova. Kapil Sharma is standing fast by his claim that he was demanded a bribe from the BMC to regularize these extra construction work that was done by him. However, BMC is also refusing it. Right now you can see the demolition that was done by the BMC after complaints were received by social activists and residents of this area that Kapil Sharma has done extra construction work in this bungalow. The demolition was done by the BMC on 4th of August and the second floor and the construction that was done on the backside of this bungalow was destroyed by the BMC. They are still sending their authorities to check if any more construction is being done by Kapil Sharma at this bungalow.
Well, after Kapil Sharma tweeted that the BMC officials were demanding a bribe from him, the BMC held a press conference today. Manoj Pawar, the chief of the Vigilance Department of the BMC, said the corporation has taken the complaint very seriously and will not bear such false complaints in the future.
कपिल शर्मा इनसे जो भी कंप्लेंट कॉरपोरेशन को आई है वो कंप्लेंट के बारे में कॉरपोरेशन ने सीरियसली ले लिया है. बेसिकली कॉरपोरेशन ऐसा कोई करप्शन केसेस है तो किसी को ऐसा बेयर करेगी नहीं, करती नहीं. जिसने ब्राइब मांगा है उसका नाम श्री शर्मा ने देना जरूरी है, ऐसा हमने उनको रिक्वेस्ट भी किया है। वैसा लेटर भी आज हमने उनको दे दिया है, रिक्वेस्ट लेटर की ज़रा नाम और डिटेल्स ज़रा दे देना। नाम और डिटेल आने के बाद जो भी रूल्स और रेगुलेशन के हिसाब से जो भी कार्रवाई करनी है वो कॉरपोरेशन कार्रवाई करेगी।
Well, the Kaveri protests in Karnataka escalated today as pro-Kannada activists held the state to ransom. Normal life in Bangalore and most parts of Karnataka have come to a grinding halt as protests continue across the state. Agitators have taken to the roads in Bangalore, brandishing flags, raising slogans, even burning effigies as they protest the Supreme Court's decision to release water to Tamil Nadu. In the wake of these massive protests, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has written to the Prime Minister seeking the centre's intervention. There was widespread support of the statewide bandh called by pro-Kannada groups against the release of the Kaveri water. Pooja Prasanna filed this report.
Growing anger against the state government in Bengaluru and several other parts of Karnataka, even as the bandh call called by the pro-Kannada organization is complete in the capital, with all commercial establishments completely closed, schools, colleges, all public offices, banks, petrol pumps, all of them have supported the bandh call. Public transportation has also been hit with buses, taxis, autos, everything being off roads from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. today. Attempts were made by several organizations to even storm into the airport, and also attempts were made to stop the metro rail that was plying in the city. But the state government, even as they try to assure the protesters that their interests are being taken care of, legally speaking, Karnataka has very little option but to release 15,000 cusecs of water as per the Supreme Court directive. The Chief Minister has said that with a heavy heart they will abide by the Supreme Court directive. But legally speaking, how do they plan to tackle this further is something that he's not given clarity on so far.
Of course, Bangalore took the worst of that hit today as pro-Kannada activists held the IT city to ransom. Offices were shut by protesters. Several instances of vandalism were also reported. Our reporter Rahul Dayama sent us this report.
Yes, Bengaluru has witnessed a complete shutdown as far as the IT companies and startups are concerned. A lot of the IT companies that we have spoke to tell us the likes of Infosys, Wipro, TCS have declared in holiday today. Remember, the Kaveri water is a very sensitive issue, and Bengaluru entirely depends on Kaveri water. So the companies took cognizance of the matter and did not want to really risk continuing operations today. So while Wipro will have tomorrow as a working day, Infosys will compensate by making one of the next weekends as a working day for its employees. A lot of startups that we've been talking to say that employees have been working from home, so business continuity plans have been put in place. Flipkart, Amazon have suspended not only their operations but also deliveries here in Bengaluru. Cab aggregators that we've been talking to tell us while operations continue, a lot of commuters have been complaining on social media that they're not able to book a cab clearly, so the driver partners are not locking in. We also had a few protesters who marched to Manyata Tech Park after they came to know that a few companies called their employees early morning to continue working, so they barged in there and the police personnel had to really come down and calm the situation. So while it's a complete shutdown here in Bengaluru as far as operations of IT companies and startups are concerned, they are putting in place business continuity plans to ensure that work is not impacted.
Meanwhile, the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has asked the centre to intervene. In a letter he wrote to the Prime Minister today, the Chief Minister has expressed his helplessness. Amita Balachandra takes us through details of that letter.
Well, post several letters to the centre, this time Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeking centre's attention to the ongoing issue here in Karnataka over the Kaveri water war. He has in fact asked Prime Minister to sort of convene a meeting with all the Chief Ministers at this point in time of South of India to resolve this issue at this point in time. Remember, Karnataka had complied with the Supreme Court order, thereby releasing 15,000 cusecs of water to Tamil Nadu. It's day 3. Protests have been ongoing, and it's only gotten worse, especially in several cities like Mandya, Bengaluru and Mysuru, especially with the statewide Bandh on the 9th of September. Also, this comes post several other letters that has been already written to the centre. Remember, in the last letter, he had mentioned that drinking water is a severe. There's been a severe crisis in this drinking water, especially because the Kaveri Basin does not have enough water in all of the reservoirs, KRS, Hemavati and Kabani dams. In fact, the storage as of 15th of August is very, very low, is what he had mentioned. And he's also mentioned that this unrest across the state will continue and only get worse if the centre does not intervene.
So let's take you to the nerve centre of these protests, Mandya. Earlier today, our correspondent Paul was at Sanjay Circle, where the city where there was a huge gathering of protesters. Take a look.
I'm presently at the Sanjay Circle in Mandya district, where several people, in fact thousands of people have come down. Members of farmers organizations, members of several other groups and organizations have come down to show their protest against the Supreme Court's decision to let out water from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu. In fact, I'm joined by members of the South Canara Association. Ma'am, can you tell us what the demands are?
Our demands are very clear, that we have been, it's always a biased judgment what we have been getting till now. So we want water for our needs, for our district needs. That's very clear. Our demands are very clear, that we want the required water. We are asking water for our crops, not for our crops. We are asking water for drinking purpose. But Tamil Nadu is asking for its third crop. So drinking water is more essential than for the third crop. So our demands are very clear.
In fact, what everyone who has landed up in Mandya is saying is that when Karnataka doesn't have enough water for its own drinking purposes, in fact, the water from Kaveri is used by Bengaluru, Mandya as well as Mysuru. They say when they don't have water for their own consumption and in fact for their own irrigation, then how can they afford to give water to Tamil Nadu?
Bangalore brought completely to its knees today. People in our capital city were afraid to go to work, were afraid to step out of their houses.
As a representative of the government or as a representative of the ruling party, I can only say that the protests were peaceful and nothing untoward incident took place. The Karnataka government and the police were by and large successful in seeing that there is no untoward incident or there is no violence during the protest.
People of Tamil Nadu are with the Supreme Court order, and we are waiting for justice to happen through the Supreme Court only. We have not violated any order of this Honorable Supreme Court, and we have full faith on our Chief Minister, and of course the Karnataka government has also obeyed the Supreme Court order. But these kind of incidents is only reflecting the state of Karnataka and the law and order situation, which is totally lawlessness in the state of Karnataka, and it's the responsibility of the government in power.
Should the Chief Minister start a dialogue?
The Karnataka government which has gone to the Supreme Court, and definitely when the matter is pending in the Supreme Court, it's sub judice. He cannot go out of way and talk to the counterpart in Karnataka.
See, there is anger. People have to come and show it to somehow. So today what happened, except
so if the Supreme Court order for the next 10 days doesn't change, this anger is going to continue to display itself in this manner.
Demonstrate your anger through your lawyers in the Supreme Court.
Will the anger continue in this manner if the Supreme Court judgment which...
Anger is not at all against Supreme Court, not against just the decision. Anger is mishandling by the state government, and overall, there is a water scarcity, and
no, it is totally wrong. You are misrepresenting the fact. You are twisting the facts. It is wrong. It is not so.
But for
the Karnataka government had engaged the best lawyers in the Honorable Supreme Court. It is very wrong.
Voluntary.
The Tamil channels have been blocked.
It's a voluntary bandh from the people of Karnataka.
See, most of the time when there is a bandh, you don't get everybody to support the bandh. This is the first time where you saw Petrol Dealers Association supporting the bandh, Auto Dealers Association, then
they have no options. Otherwise, they will be attacked. their petrol pump will be attacked, their hotels will be attacked.
Please listen.
So when you are
Please let others speak.
No,
go ahead, Mr. Harish, make your argument. Mr. Harish, make your argument.
So as the head of the government, it is the duty and the responsibility of the Chief Minister to implement the court's order. He had to implement it. There's nothing like he will not implement the order. He has to implement. He can always go for a review petition. He can always call for an SLP. He can ask the Prime Minister to intervene and to call the Chief Minister or the Chief Minister of the other states for a meeting on this issue. But for the time being, he has to implement the order of the Supreme Court. Otherwise, there will be a contempt of court.
They've never taken this case seriously. They've never done any serious meetings with the lawyer.
Hey, what do you mean by seriously? Then you explain to me what do you mean by seriously? I think the government at the center level and the Supreme Court should intervene and see that there is a long-lasting solution for this, and the people in both the states live peacefully and live happily.
Karnataka and Bangalore are safe. The Tamilians ensure the lives and security of...
we are as friendly as Tamil Nadu itself. So nobody is under danger.
You should ensure that, because we are hearing, but I don't want to score brownie points out of all that, because we also know we are all human beings. We are also having same emotions.
The people of Karnataka,
you please ensure the lives.
We have been telling the same thing. It was
52 Tamil channels have been cut down, and you are taking the city to ransom. Of course, it is a democracy. You can.
Mr. Hussain, go ahead. Mr. Hussain, go ahead.
Lakshman Rekha and everything. You cannot cross every issue.
Don't make it a Kannadiga Tamilian issue. Let us not get into that.
Definitely not.
One. It is a
I will not do that. I am only requesting you.
I
am not saying anything.
Please allow me. Rajshekhar, please allow me to speak.
I am only requesting you. Nasser, I am only requesting you that you ensure.
Nasser Hussain, finish your statement. Nasser Hussain, finish your statement.
It is not whether Rajshekhar wants to score brownie points or Nasir Hussain or Mr. Harish. It is only about water. Let us stick to that. Let us appeal to the government here and the government there in the center to see that this issue is resolved permanently.
Well, of course, if we look at the other cities across the country right now, there was some good news and bad news. In Maharashtra, the state government is making provisions for Mumbaikars to have safety on the beaches during Visarjan. On Kolkata, on the other hand, the dengue outbreak has gotten worse. Let's take a look at what's making news in your city tonight.
First up, Mumbai. This should make Mumbaikars feel safer. The Bombay High Court has directed Maharashtra state government and the BMC to ensure that adequate number of lifeguards are posted on all beaches in the city for Ganesh immersions. Now, the government and the BMC will also have to ensure that additional lifeguards are posted during festivals. Now, the government has now been directed to take appropriate action and place it before the court on the 14th of October. In Agra, they have spent 14 years protecting the iconic Taj Mahal, and now the city of Agra is paying them back. In a bid to protect and look out for the welfare of its protectors, Agra will build 5.28 crore rupee 3-story barrack at Karbana for the Central Industrial Security Force personnel guarding that monument. Located 4 kilometers away from the monument, the barrack will be constructed on 6.47 acres of land. It will also accommodate 109 personnel and hold facilities including a mess and common room, among others. The construction work is expected to be completed within 1 year. Severe health crisis plagues the city of Kolkata. Despite claims of combative steps by health officials and civic bodies, the dengue epidemic is not dying out. With the death of a 6-month-old baby in a private hospital on Tuesday, dengue has claimed more than 30 lives with this outbreak. Close to 500 affected are being treated in different hospitals. Reports also say that the outbreak has affected more than 6,000 people across the state this year.
Well, also let's take a look at what's making news across the country. A stampede broke out at the naval base in Malad in Mumbai, leaving several people injured. Around 10,000 young people were present at the INS Hamla to appear for an examination organized by the Indian Navy. The police claimed that it wasn't a stampede, but the commotion which took place when the results were being announced. In a joint operation, anti-terrorist squad and Jhansi police arrested ISI agent Aijaz Shah Khan, a resident of Old Delhi from Lucknow. Officials have recovered 650 grams of gold, foreign currency, a passport, a SIM card and a voter ID from Khan's possessions. Telecom regulator TRAI will meet operators to resolve the ongoing dispute involving Reliance Jio and other telecom operators such as Airtel, Vodafone and Idea over interconnecting points. The Association of the Telecom Operators have sought the PMO's intervention on the issue to restore fair competition. Police officials foiled a news conference organized by Hurriyat Saeed Ali Jilani at his residence and sealed the area. Journalists were forced to leave the area when the police and the paramilitary forces were deployed to restrict movement of pedestrians and motorists today. Well, that's a wrap on this edition of the Urban Debate 360. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.